Nicole here with Minji, and today we're going to be talking about when we take Minji out. I know you're going to take her out and see how she does around people, which is great. We always want to make sure that our dogs are socialized as much as possible and they're exposed to as many things as possible. And when you do take her out and we have, let's say, a group of people coming by or something, and of course they want to touch Minji, maybe they talk to her and that makes her feel a little bit uncomfortable. And of course you don't have eyes in the back of your head and you can't see if someone is trying to approach your dog to touch her. So I highly recommend getting a vest for her. Now you can get the same types of vests that service dogs wear, however, on there it should say training, please do not pet, or just do not pet on that vest. And when people see that, we want to make sure that they listen, they read that and say, oh hey, we're not going to pet her, she's in training right now. So if you have a vest for her that does state that she's in training and please do not pet or approach, at that point it makes it a lot easier to have her around people without having to worry about so-and-so trying to get their hands on Minji, or maybe they want to approach her from behind, which scares a lot of dogs. So getting a vest might make things a little bit easier when you take her out, and also reinforcing calm behavior when you're out and about. Maybe you take her to the park or around like Whole Foods or something like that when there's the hustle and bustle of people just walking by. You sit on a bench. You want to make sure that Minji can behave herself without vocalizing too much. And because she gets a little bit nervous sometimes around people, especially I know she goes into protection mode when her owner is there. We do have you roll my little stool out here. Let's say that this is our bench here. We're going to be sitting down with Minji and watching the people, seeing her reaction to them, and addressing behavior when needed. But if we do have Minji here and maybe she's a little bit tense or something, we want to make sure we avoid petting her or talking to her, and avoid eye contact with her at that point. So you notice that she's a little bit nervous, you can just completely ignore her, or if she gets reactive, we're going to address that behavior with a very stern and loud no. And when we do that, we want to make sure that we're so serious about her stopping that behavior. And when something happens and you get very upset at that point, things get real and you just, no! Or you tell her to sit and she doesn't sit, no, sit! And then she follows through. So at that point, we want to make sure that we're feeling really assertive, and if she gets a little, if she has some behavioral issues that show up at that point, we need to address that immediately. However, if you notice that she's just a little bit anxious, maybe she's just looking around or something, don't pet her at that point. But if she does show some reactive behavior, you can definitely address that. This is what I'm talking about here in regards to rewarding calm behavior. When we do this, we want to avoid touching her or talking to her. All we're going to do when now she's not going to be asked to lay down or sit. Sometimes a dog may get a little bit uncomfortable if they're put in a position that makes them significantly smaller than things they may be nervous about. So by having a seat on a bench, you have Minji next to you. She's doing great right now. She's not showing any signs of being nervous. She's extremely calm. You notice breathing has slowed. Her ears maybe are not pinned back or straight forward. They're relaxed like this, very relaxed. And at this point, when you notice that she goes into this very calm state without you having to ask her to sit or lay down, at that point, using your high value treats, you can give her one just for being calm. And with habit, she will understand, I need to calm down, I need to take it a couple notches down. At this point in time, she'll be able to receive affection. When we notice that she's calm at home and we do the rewarding of calm behavior, when she does encounter people or maybe family is coming over, we want to make sure that we can have complete control over her, but you don't want to have her on a leash 24/7. It doesn't make it very fun to have a dog in the house when you are constantly having her on leash. So, in the beginning, when you do have people over, let's say she gets a little bit nervous or something like that when someone does come into the house, and we still want to reward the calm behavior. But the initial excitement of people coming in may set her off, may put her into protection mode. She wants to make sure that no one comes in her house without her letting you know. So, when we do have people coming over, and in the beginnings, you know, we might have Minji on a leash if she will be present with us. And first, there's going to be a knock, of course. And it's not wrong for Minji to bark at the door or anything like that. It's actually a good thing. That's what you have a dog there for. And she wants to make sure that you know that there's someone outside. You can have her continue that behavior. If you don't want her to bark all the time at the door, then you can address that. But a couple of barks, woof woof, when she hears the door knock, that's totally fine. And now when we have Minji at the door and someone will be entering, first thing, we want to make sure that they have space. So let's say that, can't see that there. There's a gate right here. So I'm going to pretend that this is the door. And let's say that there's a knock here. We want to make sure that we have space. I don't want Minji to cross a line here. So while I'm not asking her to do a specific sit or lay down and stay, I'm just going to ask her, stay. At this point in time, I'm able to open the gate or door. Hey, how you doing? Minji is in training. Could you please Could you please not talk to her, not touch her, or make eye contact with her? And it might be a good idea to have some treats by the door. So when you have people come in, they're ignoring Minji, they're talking to you. Stay, good girl. They're talking to you, and because they're not paying direct attention to her, it'll make it easier for her to accept them in her home. So with the treats by the door, Minji can be hanging around, maybe she's loosened up a little bit. You want to make sure that the people coming in, especially the children, are safe and they don't feel uncomfortable with Minji there. Have a treat. You have a treat, grab it from the little container by the door. You can ask them if they can extend their fist. Again, not making eye contact with her. Give her a treat with an open hand, a flat hand, and continue on their way. So at this point, Minji doesn't feel like she's getting direct attention from them. She's not feeling threatened. A lot of times when people approach dogs, they tend to approach them like this, with their hand right on top of their head or something, and that way of approaching a dog can be extremely intimidating and may scare the dog. So to put yourself in your dog's shoes, and you lower yourself to the ground and you have someone come over you like this, it's very intimidating. So don't be afraid to ask people, hey, excuse me, Minji is in training right now. Do you mind first extending a fist and standing to the side, or letting her smell your foot or something first? Good girl. Good. And another thing, we want to make sure that we don't have any tension on the leash. And I know you said she's very good in home, and she's great here. She definitely does a great job with her training and listening to the commands. But when we do have those situations where people are coming and going in the home, or maybe we take her out, at that point we can start working on rewarding her calm behavior. So when you have people in your home, you do the whole introduction with them totally ignoring her, not looking at her or anything, maybe standing to the side and offering a treat with a flat hand, continuing on their way, again, still not talking to her or anything. When you have her with you, just like this, she found a treat on the ground. Thought she was going to lay down there. But when you have her with you and you're sitting down still with those people around you, you want to make sure that Minji can be rewarded when she goes into that calm state of mind. So we're not going to ask her to sit or lay down. You can still have her on the leash at this point, but we want to make sure that we're not really paying her any attention right now. Only when she performs that down by herself, on her own, we can grab our treat and reward her without giving her any attention or anything like that, just like this right now. Rewarding calm behavior. And at this point, when she's in this state, you can have someone come a little bit closer. Maybe they sit next to Minji, not facing her, not trying to touch her or anything. And at that point in time, you notice that her body language is still the same. She's still comfortable. She's relaxed. You can reward her with another treat. Again, not talking to her, touching her, or making eye contact with her. Well, these are just some pointers about how to manage Minji when we do have her around people that are coming in and out of the house. And if you do have her on the leash when they approach, that's fine. You don't have to have the leash on her all the time, but just make sure that we're not setting her up for failure. If you think that she'll get a little bit tense around a certain person, maybe she'll approach them or charge them and bark, put her on the leash. Better safe than sorry. Not that she'll do anything, but she has a big bark when she wants to. So that might be a little bit intimidating for some people. But having her on that leash, making sure that we have complete control over her, making sure that we're rewarding calm behavior, and also when we accept people into the house, letting them know that she's in training. Please, no talk, no touch, no eye contact. Please ignore the dog. Very important. And of course, when you take her out into public and you're sitting on the bench in the park and you have your high value treats with you, Minji goes into that calm state of mind. She's finally relaxing. Her tension is easing up. Treat her. And then continue what you're doing. So this has been Nicole here with Minji. Please let me know how everything is going in regards to her socialization amongst people and how she's been accepting others in the house. We'll see you later. Bye. Good girl.